What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel, Rivas Talk Sports. My name is John, and today we'll be going over player props for this upcoming slate of the Detroit Lions versus the San Francisco 49ers. So let's get right to the player props and how we could bet on this game. So starting off, we're going to do it the quarterbacks, player props. So for Jared Goff, right? So his betting strat against the 49ers, he is 3-6 against the Niners, but 2-2 at San Francisco. So he's 50% playing at San Francisco. He's averaging about 20 completions against San Fran. He has gone under 23 and a half completions, 9 out of 17 games. Goff really loves to favor the middle of the field. 49ers really love to shut that field down. So Goff is going to really have to work the boundaries a little bit, but I do believe with the stifling 49ers defense, the Lions are going to have to, run the ball a bit more to kind of open up the passing game. So for me personally, the Jared Goff player prop that I have is under 23 and a half completions. You could get that at DraftKings at minus 130. So that will be my Jared Goff player prop. For Brock Purdy, he will be going up against a not-so-elite pass defense against the Lions. They gave up 349 passing yards and 3 touchdowns to Baker Mayfield in the most recent playoff game, which is a lot. The 49ers, Kittle, Ayuk, Debo, Christian McCaffrey, they all provide yards after catch traits, so they will provide chunk plays against this Lions passing defense. Brock Purdy has thrown multiple touchdowns in 9 games, and he has a long reception of over 40 yards in 10 games. So for Brock Purdy specifically, I have his longest completion over 40 and a half receiving yards, and that is minus 115. Or you can do an alt passing spread of 275 and over. I believe that Brock can hit at least 275 against the passive, not so elite Lions pass defense. So I believe he'll put up a bunch of yards against this defense. So the 2 player props that I have for Brock is over 40 and a half, longest completion, and all passing spread of 275 or more. And you can get that at minus 125. Okay, so now we're going to work with the running backs. So Christian McCaffrey, he will be going up against a stout rush defense against the Lions. They are top 5 in opponents' yards allowed per rush and rushing yards allowed per game. Very stout rush defense. So the Lions will give McCaffrey a tough time when he's trying to, run through the holes a bit. McCaffrey is averaging about 89 rushing yards at home this season. Lions have allowed about 87.8 yards per game. He's been held under 20 carries in the past 7 games. The 49ers' main focus will be passing on this Lions defense as opposed to running the ball. Believe Christian McCaffrey will get a lot of work on the receiving end. For Christian McCaffrey on his player prop, I have under 19 and a half carries. You get that at minus 130. Or you can do an alt rush and receiving yards with them, both of them combined at 125 plus. You can get that at minus 125. And those are the 2 player props that I have for CMC. And then now we're going to go to Gibbs and Montgomery, the little 2-headed monsters on the Lions rushing side. The 49ers have a stout rush defense. They're also top 5 in the rush defense categories with opponents' rushing yards per game and opponents' rushing touchdowns allowed per game. Goff would need to expose the boundaries to make the chains move a bit in the passing game. Montgomery has had over 10 and a half carries in 8 out of the past 11 games. The Packers showed that the run game can be effective against the 49ers, so I believe Montgomery would have some type of success or more carries in this game to kind of break down that defense a little bit. And then for Gibbs, he's averaging 4 receptions and targets per game in the postseason, and Gibbs has a touchdown in 6 out of the past 7 games. So my player props for the Lions running backs, I have Montgomery over 10 and a half rushing attempts. You can get that at minus 125, or Gibbs anytime touchdown, and that is plus 115, which is a good chance of him to hit. And then on the receiving side, we're going to start off with Brandon Ayuk, who I believe will have a great game, especially with Debo a bit banged up. So with Debo banged up, I believe that Purdy will utilize Ayuk a lot in the passing game. The Lions' pass defense can be exposed. They are not elite. As I mentioned before, Baker did pass on this defense. San Fran would have their their lunch too against his defense. Brandon Ayuk has gone over 100 yards in 5 out of the 7 home games. Between the lines focusing on CMC, Kittle, and a little bit of Debo, I believe that Ayuk will get his yards. So my player prop for this game is Brandon Ayuk over 80.5 receiving yards. You could get that at minus 125. And then the last receiving prop that I have on the line side is Amon St. Brown. He is a target hog. He's gotten 10 plus targets in 7 games. He's been catching his targets at a 72.5% clip throughout the season. Pretty much when there's a target coming his way, he's pretty much guaranteed going to get a catch with that high clip. He will get his work against the boundaries as the 49ers tend to kind of clutter the middle of the field as opposed to the boundary. So I believe that Goff would do some quick out routes to Amon-Ra. He has a touchdown in 5 out of the past 6 games. And like I said, Goff will rely on Amon St. Brown, especially I believe that Josh Reynolds will be out. And they're going to focus a lot on Sam Laporta in the middle of the field. So I believe Amon-Ra will get his time to shine in this game. So for Amon-Ra St. Brown's player props, I have over 7.5 receptions. You get that plus 105 or an anytime touchdown plus 125. The Lions will score. Believe St. Brown will be a part of that. So those are my player props for this upcoming game. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope to catch you next time. See you.